The mining outpost on Kepler 442b was dying. For 3 days, its emergency beacon had cried across the void, each transmission weaker than the last. On the bridge of the Confederation flagship Vigilant Dawn, Admiral Hicks watched crimson markers spread across his tactical screen like spilled blood. "Enemy raiders, Admiral," his officer reported. "At least 3 war groups. They've surrounded the colony." Hicks narrowed his 4 eyes. The Zorath were butchers, raiders who left nothing but ashes and bones. The outpost sheltered 12,000 civilians, workers, families, children. Reinforcements were 18 hours away. By then, the colony would be gone. He was preparing to commit his nearest patrols to a hopeless rescue when his comms officer spoke. "Unidentified vessel requesting to join the fight." "Show them." A ship appeared on the main screen, angular gray, lined with weapon ports and strange symbols. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force destroyer Relentless," came a woman's voice. "We intercepted your distress signal, ETA 4 hours. Hicks's tendrils twitched. He'd heard rumors of the newcomers, humans' primitive ships by galactic standards, but diplomats spoke of them with wary respect. "Commander Chen," Hicks said, "you don't understand the scale of this threat. The Zorath have 60 warships and 15,000 fighters. What numbers do you bring?" A pause. "1 battalion, Admiral, 800 troops." The bridge fell silent. "That's suicide," someone whispered. "Commander," Hicks warned, "waiting for reinforcements may be wiser." "With respect, Admiral," Chen replied, steady as steel, "we've faced worse, we'll handle this." The signal cut, leaving only static. 4 hours later, 3 human ships emerged from hyperspace, tiny against the Zorath armada. "They're not even trying to hide," Hicks's officer said. "They'll be destroyed." "Perhaps," Hicks murmured. "That's their intent." 20 Zorath ships broke formation to intercept. Hicks braced for slaughter. Instead, the humans launched a barrage of pods straight toward the planet's surface while their ships laid down precision cover fire. "Drop ships," Hicks realized. "They're landing troops in the middle of a war zone." Moments later, planetary sensors erupted with energy readings. The humans had hit the ground running. What Hicks saw next defied belief. Human soldiers moved like a single living organism, splitting, flanking, adapting faster than any command structure should allow. When overwhelmed, they broke enemy lines into fragments and crushed each in turn. When one fell, others closed ranks and fought harder. "Give me a live feed," Hicks ordered. The screen filled with Commander Chen leading the charge through a storm of plasma fire. "Bravo, flank left. Charlie, suppress that nest. Delta, breach and clear." Calm, composed, unyielding. Her troops obeyed without hesitation. 6 hours later, the impossible became reality. 800 humans had annihilated 15,000 Zorath warriors. The survivors fled in panic. Hicks contacted the surface. "Commander Chen, your forces were outnumbered 20-1. "How?" The image shifted to a human officer, face streaked with soot but smiling faintly. "Admiral, humanity's been fighting wars for millennia. We've learned a few things." "The Zorath enslaved entire systems." "Maybe so," she said, "but they've never fought humans before." When Hicks asked if those were elite troops, Chen frowned. "Elite? No, just regular infantry, standard issue." "Regular," the word chilled him. Months later, Hicks stood before the Grand Council, recounting what he'd witnessed. Holograms replayed the battle. The chamber gasped as humans outmaneuvered the galaxy's most feared killers. "They anticipate each other's actions instinctively," Hicks explained. "They fight not as individuals, but as one." "Why did the Zorath flee?" asked a crystalline counselor. Hicks replayed the footage of a human medic sprinting through enemy fire to save a fallen comrade cut down in the attempt. The squad didn't retreat. They surged forward, dragging both bodies to safety. "This," Hicks said, "when they bleed, they don't break, they burn brighter. Their creed, leave no one behind. It's not strategy, it's faith." The council pressed further. "Could humans be reasoned with, controlled?" "They fight only to defend," Hicks replied. "But if you threaten them or their allies, they answer with fury." When asked about their hierarchy, Hicks recalled Chen's words. "She told me those soldiers were ordinary and that there were others, something called special forces." No one knew what that meant, but all agreed on one thing. If ordinary humans could destroy a Zorath legion, no one wanted to meet their specialists. 6 months later, the Confederation learned what that meant. Vega Research Outpost, a civilian station orbiting Wolf 359, was struck without warning. 47 warships of the Korvac Dominion appeared, demanding surrender. Admiral Patricia Morrison had 8,000 souls aboard, 3,000 of them civilians, and 6 fragile gun platforms for defense. "Call for reinforcements," she ordered. The reply came, 18 hours. Too late. Under siege, Morrison made the call no one wanted to make. "Activate Section 7 Alpha." Her message reached Earth Command. "Vega outpost under attack, 47 hostile ships, civilian loss imminent, request release of Shadow assets." Confirmed. Command answered, "Shadow units deploying, ETA 12 hours. But the Korvac attack came within one. Their bombardment shredded defenses. Boarding craft breached the hull. For 11 brutal hours, Morrison's people fought corridor by corridor. Then, without warning, 12 unidentified signatures appeared on sensors. "12 ships, ma'am," her officer said. "They just appeared out of nowhere, all human." Before Morrison could speak, the newcomers struck. They didn't fly like warships, they moved like ghosts. One slid behind a cruiser, fired once, and the ship detonated. Another phased through a destroyer's hull, leaving a device that tore it apart from within. The comm crackled. "This is Ghost Team Leader. We'll handle your visitors." "Ghost Leader, how many ships?" Morrison demanded. "Just these 12, more than enough." In 2 hours, the Korvac fleet, 47 warships, was gone, not one human casualty. "Who are you?" Morrison asked. "Negative, Admiral. Ghost protocol units don't make reports. Official story, reactor malfunctions destroyed the fleet. Confirm that in your logs." Morrison nodded. "Understood." "Are you special forces?" A chuckle. "Admiral, if we told you what we are, we'd have to kill you. And we like you too much." Then they vanished. Across the galaxy, shockwaves rippled. Intelligence agencies scoured data, desperate for answers. Director Zix Thor of Confederation Intelligence reviewed the sensor logs. The energy patterns weren't malfunctions, they were deliberate attacks from invisible sources. Every attempt to trace the human involvement hit encrypted firewalls. Budgets led nowhere. Records vanished. Operations erased. Dozens of fleets, pirate syndicates, and warlords had simply disappeared in recent years. Each incident now suspiciously aligned with human activity. "These are no ordinary forces," her analyst concluded. "These are shadows, divisions built for missions that can never exist on record." "How many?" "At least a dozen types. Infiltration, sabotage, assassination, deep space elimination, and they recruit only the best of the best." Zixthor filed her report to the Council with one recommendation. Whatever they're hiding, pray they never decide to show it. A year later, the galaxy gathered to honor humanity with the Protector of Peace Award. In 1,000 years, it had been granted only 7 times. Admiral Vexi presented it to humanity's envoys, General Rodriguez, Admiral Chen, Ambassador Martinez. "You have brought balance to our worlds," he proclaimed. "Your courage has turned war into peace." The humans accepted graciously, but their smiles carried quiet amusement. Afterward, Ambassador Vexi asked, "Why do your officers seem amused?" Martinez smiled faintly. "Perhaps because you're praising what you think you've seen. You haven't seen anything yet." "Explain." General Rodriguez leaned forward. "The operations, you know, Kepler, Wolf 359, those were regular units, entry-level special teams." "Entry-level," Vexi repeated, uneasy. Admiral Chen nodded. "Tier 3. Have 5 tiers." 5, Rodriguez listed them calmly. Tier 1, Elite Armies, Marines, Rangers. Tier 2, Black Ops like Delta and SS. Tier 3, you've seen their work, Ghost Teams, strike units that erase fleets. Tier 4 and 5, she paused. "Let's just say we hope they're never needed." Vexi stared in silence. "Surely you have limits." Ambassador Martinez smiled. "Of course, that's why we're creating something new, a branch designed solely for interstellar operations." "What kind of branch?"